Howdy, Ags. I'm Alan Prince.
I'm Matthew Antle.
I'm Dustin Hall, and we're with the program Industrial Distribution Engineering at Texas A&M, and we're here to discuss how industrial distribution is for natural disasters.
So first of all, we want to discuss actually what industrial distribution is, just for those people who don't really understand. So industrial distribution is a study here at Texas A&M that really balances both sciences and maths as well as business. So you get a really full rounded aspects of what business works and how business works, and the industry and how all that stuff goes. It's a lot of supply chain management to the wholesaler and distribution of commercial products, and a lot of face-to-face interaction with the customers and people. It's distributing products is really what it is. It's within industry. It's in the name. It's how it works. It's how we're able to, how the economy goes around within every culture. It doesn't really matter where you are or what you're doing. You need distributors. It's how the goods go from the manufacturer to the end user. It's the middleman, as you'll find out later on. It's how we're able to get our products. How anybody is able to buy any product. It's through distributors like us, like our majors. So.
Disasters and failures. Economical losses attributed from a disaster. In the article Economics of Natural Disaster, it states that back in 1981, insurance companies claimed over $44 billion worth of funding for natural disasters, which is quite a bit of money. One economical loss is from people leaving the towns, evacuating because of floods or fires or whatever natural disaster occurred, and with that creates a loss of profits and sales from businesses. And then the next point of businesses, they have a profit loss because they're having to close down because during that time period until repairs are made in that area so they can start their business back up, which shows them to have a loss of money. And then we have highways for travel, and that's an economic loss not only for the area that was hit by a natural disaster, but as well as surrounding areas, because if tractor trailers can't travel or use the major highways to go to their next destination, then the supplies and goods aren't going to make it, which can of course decrease sales from distributors. And then we have utilities. This world is advancing in technology, so without electrical power, our businesses won't be able to run, because a lot of our businesses run off electrical power. A lot of people work from home with laptops and stuff, and if you don't have that power there, then the business can show a small decrease.
So actually, as we were able to see pretty recently in the natural disaster of Hurricane Harvey that hit Houston and surrounding areas, you were really able to see that industrial distribution and people like us really in action. And what it was during this disaster was the distribution of mass distribution of products throughout the entire area. So it's getting all the water and all the clothes and all the food that people need that they don't have to the people from the suppliers anywhere around America. So, for example, you're trying to get water from Ohio, you have to get that to the end user, but roads are closed. That's just with the disaster. So people like us are there to be able to provide it and to distribute it and find ways and find the supply chain and find the manufacturer who's able to supply it down to Houston and get to the people, because that's what's important, is those people are able to get the products and able to survive this terrible thing. So for example, Budweiser, they actually stopped all production of beer within the Houston area. They have a manufacturer there, and they only produced water because that's what people needed the most. But they're only the manufacturer. It comes down to people like us who are the distributor, or the people who need to get that product to the people on the streets who don't have water to drink, who need it the most. So that's where we come into play, and we really play a major role in this. It's a 50-50. It's they make it and they supply it, but we bring it to the people. We distribute it to the people. We get it from point A to point B to the end user, and that's where we come into play in situations like this. I mean, it's just one example with Hurricane Harvey, is being able to get the water to the end user so they can survive. So.
The role that industrial distribution plays in these disasters is the spread of information. Information including new products, supplies, services that we provide. And with that being said, disasters are everywhere. It's not just in Houston with Harvey. It's not just in Louisiana with Katrina. It's just everywhere, and we sometimes don't even know. And with that being said, industrial distribution provides a major impact in just helping out these situations, getting products to where they need to go as soon and quick, as fast as it possibly can, especially in these crises.
Increase of business sales and profit margins. First, I'd like to point out natural disasters are a devastating topic to discuss, and here at ID, us students, hearts go out to anybody who got hit by the damages of Hurricane Harvey or any other disaster in the area. So business sales and profits increase. In the book called Business, it goes over a lot of good facts about marketing and advertising. And so marketing and advertising pretty much explains itself. Us as ID students, you go out, or distributors go out and try to sell the product and services to the people that were affected by these disasters, and the disasters, or the sales may come easier from the disaster because people are in need of them in a hurry. Distributor sales is pretty much the same thing as marketing sales. The distributors are getting ready for the products to keep in stock for the natural disasters, because they know that buyers are going to be coming in to buy that certain product up after to repair homes and stuff like that. For instance, say an electrical distribution company keeps two wall receptacles in stock prior to a natural disaster. Well, then they bump their inventory up to about 15 wall receptacles, so that way they have enough inventory for the people coming in. Repairs, the profit margins for the small contractors out there doing roof repairs or drywall repairs and stuff like that, their profit margins are going to go up after a natural disaster, because they're going in and having to repair everything that was damaged by the disaster.
Industrial distribution, we are always looking in the future and how we can change whatever actions we had to improve in future disasters that could potentially happen. And with that being said, we're developing new technology, such as weather tracking, flood protection, and such as if we're about to supply people in need who need these supplies, we need to watch the weather, of course. You don't want to be going down the highway and run into a hurricane and totally wipe out all the inventory you have that you're supplying in that moment. And such as flood protection, and every distributor has their own warehouse, and within those warehouses is millions of dollars of inventory, and thousands of those dollars could be wasted just from the not having that extra effort of putting in some extra flood protection. And we also need to know that markets will rise. During Hurricane Katrina, roofing marketing, the roof market skyrocketed. Houses were totally destroyed, and the only way to rebuild those houses were to start from scratch, tear them down and make some new ones. And we need to be prepared for that. We need to make sure we have enough product ready to distribute to these places that need these products to kind of restart, get their lives back moving. And on the bottom of the slide over here, we have these just a good example of some new technologies we're coming with, and that involves some of these on-water shelters, and it's just really useful, kind of neat ways to how we've gone around some of the problems of all this water during these disasters, such as hurricanes.
All right, economic growth. Does a natural disaster actually increase economic growth? Well, the article, Do Natural Disasters Stimulate Economic Growth, shows studies and facts about how different areas that were affected by the natural disaster, the economy actually increased after everything was rebuilt. So here's a couple examples of a natural disaster that the economy actually grew, which the Alaska earthquake of 1964, the government actually funded loans and grants to the area to rebuild their buildings that were torn up and or fell down, and they actually were better off at the end because more people were coming in to the town because businesses were hiring. Okay, another example is an automobile shop that had one bay and two people that were working in it. Whenever the flood came and they ended up having to tear down the business, and then the government granted them money to rebuild their business, instead of making one bay, they made 4 bays, which made them able to increase their employees to 4 people, and then their business put through and sales of products and services were able to go up, which created economic growth from that. And then last but not least, out with the old, in with the new. This pretty much says it all. After a natural disaster, economic growth definitely increases, because when you're tearing down new buildings and putting up new buildings, more people are wanting to move to the area to work at the new buildings.
And yeah, this just shows how industrial distribution majors like us are able to really get involved, and especially in something like natural disasters that can't be stopped or just nothing you can do about it. It happens, and this is how we're able to impact the world positively, and just get involved and be able to help people all around the world and just get out there and be proactive about it. And this just shows how one of the few things that we can do to help society and help the world. So
That wraps it up. Thank you guys.
Thank you.